Good evening. Hello, everybody. This is Beaufort County's House of Cards. It is Thursday evening, and we are so glad to have you here. We have, I think I have got the, um, I think I've got the call in figured out, and now all of a sudden it's not working. So we'll work on that later. Anyway, welcome. We are so glad to have you here. This Thursday evening right here on the House of Cards.
Introducing to you.
You're on House of Cards. Live on Facebook and YouTube.
It's going down now.
Locked and loaded with the truth.
And, whether you're on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, whatever you're on, we're glad to have you here. Soon you'll be able to come into the show through I guess they call it some kind of podcast conduit from the radio station. So before too long, you'll be able to be on Big Patriot Radio, and while you folks can watch House of Cards, those folks who are choosing to be audio only, they'll be able to listen to it. So we're trying to take care of as many people as possible with whatever you've got going on. So look, when you go to YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We need to get some membership up. We need to get some subscribers, I think they call it, get those numbers up. In Twitch, we went back to that because of some data that we received. Um, we needed to go back on to Twitch. So we're back. So whatever you do on Twitch, just do it. Hit whatever it is. And we will certainly appreciate that. Also, um, we need subscribers to our Patreon channel to help us bring you uh, more information, more programming, better programming, more stuff that it takes to put all this on. So anything, and we have several subscribers, and we greatly appreciate you. I'm sure you all are watching, and I want to say thank you to those subscribers. And if you feel so inclined to do that, it's at the bottom of the screen, and take advantage of that. We have some folks already on screen with us. Kirk, hey, you're there in the chat room. Until we can get this telephone thing figured out, and it's a technical thing that I'm just not as quick on. Chime in on the chat room. We'll bring him up on screen, and here you see Kirk. Hello to you too, my friend. Glad to have you here with us. Whatever form of social media that you're on, go to its chat room or chat table or whatever, and it should come up here. We should be good to go. So we'll try to get you on screen no matter what we're talking about. And man, have we got a show tonight. First of all, if have you all been to bigpatriotradio.com? Has everybody been there? When we first started off, we had to go to a backdoor link, Live 365, and you had to go around and get to it. Now, thanks to the folks at United Digital, and Big Patriot Radio is powered by United Digital Promotions. And if you need your business, you need to have promotions, marketing. You really need to check these folks out. Powered by United Digital Promotions means you'll gain trust from your potential customers with a professional. You can check them out at uniteddigitalpromos.com. Be sure to do that. When you go to Live 365, and I tell you what, let's do. I didn't have this planned. Let's share the screen and see what's going on over at Big Patriot Radio. We'll get into the dashboard, and there you have it. This is like on the user end, not on the end we use, but on the user end. I don't know if I push this, what happened. Well, there we have Crawling King Snake Blues, John Lee Hooker. It's live on Big Patriot Radio right now. There you see it. So, hey, go check it out. We think you'll like it. There's the blues, news, country rock, country pop, and classic rock. We've got our first podcast on. It is Talk One Radio with Al Flowers. Ran his first show on our platform last night. I wasn't here, but from what I understand, it went off without a hitch. So I did everything proper, Al. We've got new advertisers. We'll be talking about them and putting their little you can see up there in the top, I guess that's on your screen on the top right corner. This particular segment sponsored by United Digital. We got some other new advertisers, and we'll put them up there too. So if you've got a business, this is the one way you and very, very, very inexpensive. You need to talk to us. So this week we're going to do a little bit different than we have before. More than just Buford issues. I've had a lot of folks, write in, call me, text me, what have you about different, uh, different things. And the news this time of year locally, normally things start to slow down a little bit. Town councils and county councils usually only have one meeting, in the month of December. Um, so it's just very slow. Not a lot happens with them. But this week, there's been a lot of stuff going on in the background. And, we've got a special guest coming on today, to guest about, Liberty and his business, and I think you're gonna like it. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you, and please, again, comment. Let me hear your comments about how can we go without talking about these Twitter file dumps, the dump from the Twitter files of of Twitter. It's probably, you know, this dump, as I call it, is probably one of the most masterful business decisions I've seen in a long time. Say what you will about Elon Musk, but this was pretty much perfect. Everything around it, behind it, everything he touches, he's got a horseshoe stuck up his rear, and this will pay off dividends, I believe. As far as business goes, it'll pay off dividends, and but it runs much deeper than that. Um, Everyone seems to be talking ad nauseum about, the discovery of or the confirmation of or not or whatever, that Hunter Biden is an illicit drug user, sex addict, whatever. Um, and apparently that's all very true. Apparently that's all very true. However, and this is my opinion, okay? However, that's not what this was about. That's not what the dump really tells. It's not a dump about the right or the left, the secrets of either, the secrets of newspapers, of and all this stuff is what we've been led to believe. It's not about Trump, pro or con. That's not what the dump is about. It's not even really about Hunter Biden. Now, he's being used, as is Trump, as is others, as part of the show, but this isn't about that. This dump reveals something, and whether you are a Trump fan or not, it doesn't matter. This Twitter dump reveals something that 45 was telling us all along. It's blatantly obvious that there were infiltrators in not only the White House administration, but also, uh, in the White House administration, trying to subvert his administration and his agenda. They were trying to subvert his presidency. It's obvious that the US government had bad actors, as they call them, in the FBI, the DOJ, the CIA, National Security Center, the Secretary of State, and others. If you read the Twitter feed, the dump rather, the Twitter files, it's not about all that. You have to understand it and read it over and over and over. It's not about any of that except for the subversion of the White House and the federal government by these bad actors. These bad actors, some are gone, some are not. I think most are by now. But I want you to remember a name, and that name is Yoel Roth. And I'm gonna pull up on the screen here. Let's pull up Yoel, uh, Roth. There's a document that I want you to see. So let's share this screen. Bear with me just a second, and we will pull this up. So anyway, this is A declaration, a an affidavit sent to the Federal Election Commission, from Yoel Roth, and you see there, uh, he wrote this. He was the head of site integrity at Twitter, part of the Twitter's trust and safety department, and what he did, he led the SIT, or the site integrity team, and what their their purpose is, or was, is, whatever, was to make sure that the policies of Twitter were carried out, that um, their rules and regulations were being followed both by users, advertisers, and the company. That's really what their you know decision to be existing was about. They assessed content flagged for review under Twitter's policy. Now, don't forget, Twitter is a private company. Okay, at that time, it was owned by, or CEO, or whatever their arrangement was, by Jack Dorsey. Elon Musk only recently has come to the scene. Okay, everybody's with me on that. Some of this stuff that I've highlighted is something of interest. Number 7 in his declaration: as a matter of practice, neither I nor the other members of the site integrity team communicate directly with persons outside Twitter that report content for violating Twitter policies. Absolutely, in this dump, you find out that that's not true. That's not true. Move down to number 10. Since 2018, I, Yoel Roth, have had regular meetings with the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and industry peers regarding election security. Number 11, during those meetings, the federal law enforcement agencies communicated that they expected, quote unquote, hack and leak operations by state actors. Unpack that in your head. During those meetings that a private company had with the federal government, the United States government, and its departments, these federal law enforcement agencies communicated to this private business that state actors may be involved in the period before the 2020 presidential election, likely in October, with hack and leak operations. Hmm. And further on down, he also learned that there were rumors that a hack and leak operation would involve Hunter Biden. That perfectly sets up the whole Twitter feed dump, the Twitter file dump. There are several places throughout here where they reference the New York Post and their articles. Here's one of the number 17 at 10:20 Pacific time on the 14th of October. They implemented an enforcement of removing the New York Post articles that they thought was a hack and leak at the direction of, right here, the federal government. Lastly, number 18 and 19, Yoel tries to save his ass and says, I did not receive any communications from, or have any communications with, representatives of Biden for president, the Democratic National Committee, DNC, any of their agents regarding the New York Post articles before Twitter implemented the enforcement. To the best of my knowledge, no Twitter employee received, and it's the same thing. Now, what's the big deal? And you can look that up on your own. You can pull it down. You can keep it and study it. I hope my sound is it sounding any better, Kirk? Not sure what's going on, but everything here on this end sounds pretty good. Tell me if it's still breaking up. Anyway, this is the crux of it all, of the whole Twitter file dump. It's the big banana. It's the skeleton in the closet. The United States government was giving orders to a private business on what to remove from public view. They were complicit in something called indicia of hacking, and by similarly quietly offering this, the mainstream media twisted it because, quite frankly, the mainstream media got snookered by the federal government and those bad actors. The federal or the mainstream media took this as a, um, a twisting of both parties attacking the other, and let's throw in Hunter Biden, a obvious, well-known drug abusing, sex addict, just a bad guy with a perfect suit. No one will figure this out. No one had Nobody knew that Jack Dorsey would not be CEO. No one certainly had an idea that Elon Musk was coming in and would buy the thing. And as I said on Facebook recently, he didn't, how did I put it? He didn't only buy Twitter, he released all the bones, whatever, however I said it. That's what he did. Twitter was in the shit house. It was a dump. He comes in, saves the day, fires all the waste, gets rid of trash, has it's very obviously the guy knows what he's doing or he wouldn't be where he is. And he sets this up to a journalist, Matt Taibbi. "Hey, buddy, have at it. Unleash this. Score some points." And he does it. The whole time, that's the whole point. It wasn't Twitter. It wasn't Biden. It wasn't the New York Post. It wasn't the Washington Post. It was the federal government. The bad actors that were working in the federal government, they were working in the White House. That's what this says. They were putting this in this is treason. This is this is like textbook treason. The White House administration, and I don't mean Trump. Trump's got nothing to do with this. I'm talking about people that work there. I'm talking about the DOJ, the Secretary of State, Homeland Security. That is where okay, Kirk, that is where the bad actors were. They got caught. Look at all of the background we've seen over the last several years with FBI, the Steele dossier. That's real. Look at the Russia scandal. That's real. Folks, I'm telling you, uh, this is one of the most startling revelations of how screwed up this society and our federal government is that has come along if ever. Now, if I have another note, Elon didn't just buy Twitter, he bought a freaking crime scene. That's what I said. Jack Dorsey, who now I haven't seen any comment from Jack Dorsey. If I could imagine, Jack Dorsey is probably somewhere in the California mountains shitting all over himself right now because he is complicit. Yes, Jack, I'm trying to grow a beard like you, but you're complicit. The buck stops with you. You were the CEO. The buck stop and you let it happen, Jack. Now, Hunter Biden and the New York Post and the laptop, yeah, it is important. I'm not saying that it's not. But look, these people have all day, every day, 7 days a week to corroborate all this. This is not far-fetched. Someone had told me, "Well, there's no way you can put all this together." Yeah, you and me, we have a job to do. These people, this is their job. Dorsey stated today that Musk should make all emails public. Wow, I didn't hear that, but I think it's a good idea. I'm surprised. There's obviously more to it. There's obviously more to it. Hunter Biden, the New York Post, the laptop, it is important. Hunter Biden and his, what was it, $50 million from either a Ukraine company or a Chinese company or both, and the guy doesn't know shit from Sean Nolan. Yes, that's important. Yes, his dad, our president, is as crooked as a bent snake, as his son. I'm sure they're proud of each other. The father, the president of the United States, is on video saying that he threatened by pulling money to a foreign government if they didn't fire somebody. This is all crooked as crooked gets. Hunter Biden is a scumbag. Like I said, he's as crooked as his daddy. Maybe not as, I don't know, but all that is a smokescreen, and we all bought it. We all bought it. The problem, in my opinion, was and is government insiders the whole time, the whole time. Nobody saw it coming. Um, Elon Musk, what he did, um, in my opinion, deserves a lot of credibility at first, but I know the reason behind it. Yes, truth shall prevail. He's gotta get this stock. He's gotta get this company out of the shitter. At the end of the day, that's his modus operandi.
Locked and loaded.
Let's go.
Big Patriot Radio. Blues, news, country pop, and classic rock.
And, also like to welcome BNI onto the show in Big Patriot Radio. BNI, world's largest networking, referral service. If you own a business and you're not part of BNI, you're putting a lot of money on the table. You're leaving a lot of money on the table. If anybody has any questions about the Twitter thing, or comments, please put them in there. I think and I hear there is V2 Twitter dump version 2 is coming along. Maybe it has already. I haven't seen it. Maybe it's version 3. I don't know. I look forward to that, and I look forward to dissecting that. But I think if you pay attention to that document, and it is called it's the Declaration of Yoel Roth, Yoel Roth, Declaration of Yoel Roth. Take a take a moment and print that off, highlight it, and pay attention to it. Yoel Roth is covering his backside, and I don't blame him. He what he said has a lot of information on it. Okay, it is 25 minutes past the hour. One of our listeners recently got in touch with me and was asking about wanting an update on a very, very important situation at the Supreme Court. Some of you may be aware of it. If you're not, um, you're about to. But it's the Brunson v. Alma Adams et al. Case, docket number 22-380. So let me give you some background on this. The case involves the possible removal of a sitting President of the United States and Vice President of the United States, along with 388 members of Congress. Now, I have been on. I have not. I haven't been on, but I have been watching several different news shows, actually across the world, and a handful of them said this is ridiculous, this is stupid. I mean, just absolutely tearing it down. That it was actually a group of brothers that had formed this, and there's several lawsuits, 2 that I know of, and I'm sure there's a couple in the background, but there's 2 at the forefront. Anyway, just tearing this is ridiculous. These people are those right-wing wackos again. Um, Not so fast. Not so fast. And why do I say that? Well, I say that because of this. The case alleges that Congress failed in their constitutional duties by ignoring the protection of the election system during a national emergency. U.S. courts have consistently held that fraud vitiates, or in other words, spoils and impairs everything backed by case law such as U.S. versus Throckmorton from the 1800s, 1878. This case, as we go through it here, got its teeth to bite, got its teeth to sink into the clerk's office of the Supreme Court because they use they being the petitioner, use the fact it was during a national emergency, i.e., COVID, the election deal. Anyway, COVID was the emergency, and it was a failure of constitutional duty, i.e., oath of office. That grabbed the attention of the clerk of the Supreme Court, which is not a secretary, and I'm not dishing secretaries. I'm just saying the word clerk. That's a lawyer. It's like the lawyer to the court. That grabbed their attention, and they said, wait a minute, time out." So the respondents were properly warned and were requested to make an investigation into highly covert, and I got to throw my name in there. Anyway, covert, swift, and powerful enemy seeking to destroy the U.S. Constitution. Okay. The respondents refused to investigate the congressional act, or the congressional claim, rather, and is an act of treason and fraud. So Brunson started this off at the lower level courts and has moved. He started in the state and he moved right on up. And he very calm, cool, and collected, very calculating. The U.S. government, the state government and the U.S. government stumbled over their own thumbs and have set themselves up for this to be sitting in front of the Supreme Court. Anyway, let's keep going. Now, what got the petitioners, and the petitioners' last name is Brunson. I think it's Loy. Memory serves him right. What got the petitioners' hair up was that when the question to investigate the original claims was put to a vote, 387 members of Congress and the former Vice President Mike Pence all voted no. With Pence voting no, that actually thwarted the investigation. So what does all that mean? Well, what that means is whether the 2020 election was rigged or not was now of no matter of concern to the petitioner. That has nothing to do with it. All of a sudden, rigged, not rigged, fair, not fair. All of a sudden, that goes over to the side. We got a whole new ball of wax. Now we're talking a failure to obey or abide by the oath of office you swore during a national emergency, which could be construed as treason, could be construed as, or if found guilty, possible removal from office. So anyway, so what was now the matter of concern was the fact that these members of Congress violated their sworn oath, as I just said, of office to throw the investigation off the rails. The petitioners have gone through the process of the courts. They began in the Utah 2nd District State Court. From there, it got moved over to the federal court. And I think out there, it may be the 10th, I'm not really sure. The U.S. government moved to dismiss the petitioners and to dismiss the case, and the petitioners filed opposition. The U.S. government dismissal was originally granted, and the presiding judge wrote that the U.S. government, the reason behind this is that they had sovereign immunity. That was the reading of the court. They had sovereign immunity. So the petitioner, the Brunson again, filed an appeal to the 10th U.S. Federal Court of Appeals. Then 6 months later, because nothing happened, the petitioners file something called Rule 11. Now, it took them those several months to figure this out and study case law, and they found that Rule 11 exists. And it said, Rule 11 says you can bypass that lower court and go right to the Supreme Court. It's kind of like pass and go and not collecting $200. So in September 2022, Supreme Court receives a petition for something called a writ of certiorari, and I'm probably saying that wrong, where the higher court looks for notes and claims and data from the lower court and orders it to be all sent to them. Now, all of a sudden, people are starting to think a minute. Less than a week later, the Supreme Court the clerk of the Supreme Court, their lawyer, contacts the petitioners and says, hey, we want you to revise this petition a little bit, and we want you to include more information on the lawsuit itself. And by the way, how quick can you turn that back around? Well, the petitioner had originally, according to him, said it would take a couple of weeks. The clerk of the court said you need to cut that in half. 2 weeks later, they sent it all in. 2 weeks later, the clerk of the Supreme Court calls the petitioners and pretty much said, "Hey boys, how's it going? How we doing? You told me a week. It's been two. What are we doing?" 3 days later, they had it and it's delivered to the Supreme Court. 4 days after that, the Supreme Court has this case docketed and gives the U.S. government until the 23rd of November to show why they thought or think at the time this shouldn't be moved on. That is usual and customary. Petitioner makes a claim. The court gives the other side, in this case the US government, time, 30 days, to say, tell us why this shouldn't move forward. Ball is in your court. Well, in November, the Solicitor General um, fired or got rid of or whatever all of the attorneys that were representing all of these members of Congress, the president, the vice president, all of them. The Solicitor General got rid of them all and said, I'm going to take this case. Okay. Solicitor General, a gal up there in D.C., she also at the same time waives the right to respond. What does that mean? She said, I have no answer. I'm not responding. Carry on with or without us. The U.S. government Solicitor General just pulled their pants down. 1 week later, and this is just like 2 weeks ago. 1 week later, it's set in the Supreme Court in the Journal. You can go look at it yourself. January 6, 2023, and that's a very interesting irony, some ironic date pulling there. The 9 justices of the Supreme Court, they're going to meet. They're going to discuss this case and decide by vote if they want to move it to a hearing. And there, they can officially judge the case, decide to vote up or down what should happen or what have you. But folks, you need to understand something here. This is huge. This is enormously huge. And your eyes and your ears should be glued to the coverage out of the January 6, 2023 meeting of the Supreme Court. I don't know, and I'm not a historian, I don't know of another time in U.S. history where the Supreme Court has had this much power. This much power that they can vote on, if they decide to do this, they can vote on something monumental that if they believe, and of course this is I'm way premature, but if they believe that the 380 whatever it was members of Congress, the vice president, the president, the former vice president, if they failed to keep their oath during a national emergency, they have the power to throw them out of office. Now, do we think that's going to happen? Who knows? Who really knows? But I don't know that they've ever had that power before. I've never seen that power. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. If you want to go and check something out, if you go to what's the website? I know you can go to 7discoveries.com and download the case. I think they charge you $1 or something like that. You can also go to newstreason.com and and take a look at it. All the info that I've got, that's where I got it from, as well as the Supreme Court and then some viewers and other things. This segment right now is being brought to you Equity Resources Mortgage. Give them a call for your mortgage. But anyway, that is again, I can't. I can't. I'm almost out of wordless because this is so huge. And yes, Juliana's right. You should send letters if you believe as in this as much as most patriots, as most real conservatives, not rhino conservatives, but real conservatives. Um, you should send a letter to the Supreme Court telling them to support Brunson, who is the petitioner in Brunson v. Alma Adams and et al. And all. Brunson is the one. That is the one. So it is. Where are we at? We're at about 37 minutes past the hour.
Introducing to you.
You're on House of Cards, live on Facebook and YouTube.
It's going down.
Locked and loaded with the truth.
So I told you we have a guest coming on tonight, and he's been back there in the green room for a little while, freshening up a little bit, enjoying some. Tonight we have Christmas cookies and eggnog back there in the green room. I tried to have some Irish whiskey and possibly some potatoes. I couldn't make it happen. So, but anyway, I do want to welcome onto the show good friend of mine, Eric Corcoran. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Let me clear this off here. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you. I should have properly introduced you. Businesses for Liberty founder, Eric Corcoran, and we're glad to have you here. How have you been? It's good to see you. I haven't talked to you in a while, but it's good to see you.
I was just thinking the last time we did an interview, I was interviewing you, I believe, when you were running for governors. I mean, a lot has changed, or for Congress. Sorry, for Congress.
Right.
But I can remember Charleston Southern. Remember, we were in that prayer room. I'll never forget that Lightsey Chapel. So it's been a little while, but I'm so glad what you've done, Michael. Is just awesome. You know, we need to have real news. I'm so tired of fake news. I'm so tired of the noise, and we need the truth. So thank you for what you're doing. Well,
I appreciate that. And, you know, things happen, and, you know, you can either drink lemonade or you can, you know, suck on a lemon, or you can make lemonade out of it, and different tribulations. And I had some people tell me, man, why don't you do this? And why don't you? And it's blown up. So live stream radio station. Hey, the fortune is mine to have you here. And I want to get right into it. But before we get into the businesses for Liberty, I do want to take a moment, wish you a very Merry Christmas to you and your family, a Happy New Year. And I would like, if you don't mind, if you could give the listeners a testimony of how did you become an American?
Oh, yes. Well, thank you for that great intro, because this is my adopted homeland. I am so proud every day I wake up in the land of the free, the home of the brave. And it took a long time, as you know, for me, going through immigration legally and proudly through the system. It took about 18 years. And I tell people, listen, if it had taken 30, it would have been worth it to become a citizen of the greatest country on earth. You know, I come from a small town called Tipperary in Ireland. My dad became a pastor, and we left Ireland because of ministry. So thank God for pastors out there, especially patriot ones that take a stand from the pulpit. They don't hide behind the pulpit. They stand in front of it. They have fear of God, not fear of man. But we came to, I joked, the wrong coast. We went to California at first. But I read all these books, Michael, on the South. I fell in love with the real history, not revisionist history, the real history of the South. And so I got over here as soon as I could. You know, in 2011, I went to Charleston Southern University. In the middle of the Ted Cruz campaign, when I was working on his campaign, I had to drive 15 hours, to Charleston to get sworn in the little immigration office in North Charleston. One of the most emotional days of my life.
Unbelievable. That is fantastic. And you know, you may have been born in Ireland, but I consider you a proud American as much as anybody who found themselves birthed right here on this soil. So I don't call you an adopted brother. You're an American. You're an American.
Amen.
So tell us about Businesses for Liberty. What is that all about, and what are you doing?
So I think it's important to kind of give the background of how it even began, right? So in 2020, I saw our monuments being attacked. I saw a lot of fear in Charleston, in Greenville, even a lot of places. People didn't know what to do. I mean, they were scared watching from the TV sets about all the stuff that happened, right? And I said, listen, again, I'm an adopted citizen. I love my adopted country. You're not going to rip down our history. But I did it in a peaceful way. I want to be very clear on that. We stood out there honorably, with honor, decency, and respect. And I can remember saying to people, why aren't there more people out here? And I had so many people that would message me and say, Eric, I lose half my business if I'm out there singing with you. I'm sorry. I love you. I'm praying for you. And I got a lot of great messages. And I had other people saying, well, Eric, again, I have to be quiet about it. Then we had a certain election, as you will remember, in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself, wait a minute, what can we constructively do, Michael? Not whine about liberty, not get angry and loud about liberty, but what can we actually productively do? I said, you know what we can do? We can build our own economy. We can build a patriot economy. And I came back to South Carolina after the 2020 election in 2021. And I said, you know what? We need some core values. So I said to myself, if there's a business owner out there that's pro-life, and that, listen, liberty starts with life. Okay. You're not pro-liberty if you're not pro-life. Pro-life, pro-liberty, which means we have the right to agree to disagree. We're all adults. We can all make our own decisions, right? Pro-life, pro-liberty, pro-history. Put my life on the line for that issue. You're pro-history. We have to learn from it. The good, the bad, and the ugly makes our country what it is. Just like your bad memories are part of who you are. Same thing. So pro-history, pro-Second Amendment. If we don't have a Second Amendment, we don't have a First Amendment. Listen, the Founding Fathers knew that our self-defense was very important, especially against a terrible situation with the tyrannical government. And then finally, America first. It's not just a political slogan to me. We can't keep putting the rest of the world's agenda first and forgetting about our very own people. How about all the jobs that were lost in 2020? How about all the workers who were put through hell, shouldn't have been put through what they were? So I'm fighting for them. I believe in them. And I'll tell you, I met Donald Trump in 2015 on his plane when he flew into Charleston and spoke at the Citadel. And he challenged me. What do you want to do, kid? And I was so nervous. I mean, it's Donald Trump. And I saw a political staffer, sir. I didn't know what to say. And he said, no, think big, dream big. And I know what he was talking about now, and I'm doing it right now.
So and man, I applaud you. I think that's wonderful. You have you're doing everything that is right. Everything that is right. You're doing the businesses side of this. How I know I remember when you started with that. How many businesses are part of this? What aside from being obviously part of a group of patriots, what what's the benefit? And that's really not a good word, but that's the word I'm going to use.
It's a great word. I mean, people need to know in anything in life that there's value to it, right? So we have 170 or so businesses now. And I want to be very clear on something. I vet these folks. I want to make sure they are pro-life, pro-liberty, pro-history, pro-Second Amendment, America first. I'm not just looking for any businesses. I want them to be truly patriot businesses, right? So when a business comes on board, now I can excitedly say that I can put them in front of 53,000 people that are going to see their business. And that's on True Social, on Telegram, on Facebook, all these different platforms. So I'm very excited about that. We have interviews I do. I ask every business owner on video, why are you a patriot? Mm-hmm. What does that mean? What does the word liberty mean to you? Why'd you start your business? We need to hear those stories. And what's your vision with the business? We do Zoom calls once a month where we get all the business owners on. I ask the 3 top business owners what's going on with their business and how can people get involved with them. We do Coffee for Liberty. It's like my favorite event. We bring patriots together in coffee shops and churches, in people's homes. And I go around the room, Michael, and ask every single person, why are you a patriot? How can we pray for you? And what is it that we can rally behind you? So it's a combination of a great website. If you go to businessesforliberty.com, You can look up our businesses by category and by location. We have a little map there as well. But then again, it's the social media presence and it's our rallies, it's our gatherings. So there's a lot to it.
Is this only in South Carolina?
No, we're strong in South Carolina. That's obviously our base, but we're growing. We're in North Carolina. We're in Georgia. We're actually in 11 states, but I like to think that you want to make it work regionally and then build out from there. And listen, I love the South. Like I said so many times before, I think the South is where it's going to take back the country.
Have you had, now that it's been, you had some time, you've got those battle scars, and the belt's been tightened up a little bit. Have you had some testimony from businesses that have said, you know what, I was nervous at first, but this is, things work out for a reason and I'm better for it? Has that come about?
I have one really great example, actually. It's a really funny story, but she'd be proud of me saying it. And Mandy Burdick in Walterboro, South Carolina, not too far from you, at a place called Twig. It's a sister-run boutique.
Yeah,
it's become famous now, right? Yeah. And I said to Mandy one day, listen, just do one video, okay? Yeah. And if you hate it, never do it again. She can't stop doing videos. People drive hours. They've told me people have driven hours, Michael, just to meet Mandy Burdick. She's like a celebrity in the Patriot movement. So, there's a lot of stories like that of people just getting out of their comfort zone. And then I'll give you another story. Mama Rabbits in Lexington, South Carolina. They were harassed after going on January 6th. They did nothing wrong. They were just there, peaceful gathering, right? Like I was. And when they came back, they're under such vitriol and attack and called racist. And I said, you know what? We're going to rally behind you. They told me that because of our call and being part of our movement, we got them more business than before. So we were just pushing people, have breakfast there, have lunch there, have dinner there. I mean, we were swarming the place. It was so exciting.
Well, while this particular show is obviously called, Beaufort County's House of Cards, we do venture outside of Beaufort County, obviously. But I do, those folks that are, and we actually have more people that pull this up, like the night of or the day after, and on the YouTube. It's getting a pretty good a broad reception. So those businesses that may not have heard of this, that are Patriot led, because of this show and its subject matter, and then this is, we get it on the screen. That's our new radio station that just launched, and bigpatriotradio.com. Obviously, that, in talking with your, thinking about our conversation forthcoming, I mean, those things are like that.
They really are.
They're gloves. So, those guys and gals out there who listen to this, or who are listening right now to bigpatriotradio.com, I want you to check out the website and give that again to us, Eric. Yeah,
if you go to businessesforliberty.com, and actually, I would challenge you to go to the database section, the members, because you can, again, look it up by business category and location. So depending on what you're looking for.
Gotcha. Well, I hope that many of them that watch this contact you. We're always here for you. But I'm not done. I want you to fill us in on what's going on with your baseball, your dreams, your aspirations. I watch every video, other than you're a friend, but I'm a lefty and I throw sidearm. And so watching you is like, oh man, I feel like I'm young again. Tell us what's going on with that.
Yeah, so it's funny because, I have another business working with nutrition, but I really wanted to specialize in my childhood dream, which was baseball. And I'm 33, and, a lot of guys stop throwing in their late 20s, sometimes even, earlier than that. But I had a lot of pain when I was throwing, overhand. And I said, why don't I just try this out? I found a guy named Coach Freeborn with Sidearm Nation. Actually, you'd love him. You should check him out, sidearmnation.com. And I just said, hey, can you show me how you do this? And so he sent me some videos. So I started just doing it. And I think I'm more accurate. I think I've got more velocity than when I used to throw overhand. So it's just a way to, de-stress. I mean, as you know more than anybody, politics can be very stressful, and this work can be a little, you need to get away from it every now and then. But baseball is a great way for me to do that. And I think more people need to have the sandlot back. We need people out there throwing again.
Yeah. Have you got into? I mean, there's a lot of adult leagues. Are there in Charleston? I know there's in Savannah, but do they have them in Charleston?
I just got linked up with a guy in James Island where I'm at, where I'm going to get out there and see what I got. You know, I threw
Good.
down in Tallahassee and I was nowhere near their level, but they said, hey, you know, you can pitch a little bit. So that was encouraging, you know.
Well, best of luck to you. Folks, remember businessesforliberty.com. Did I get that correct?
You do, and can I say one last thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Anything you want.
I think a lot of people, I really want everyone to listen to this from your heart. Look, I understand there's a lot of confusion and anger in our country right now, and for absolutely justifiable reasons. But let me just tell you this right now. You have power with voting with your dollars. You might not feel like you have power right now at the election, you know, these elections, we're figuring everything out right now. But let me just tell you, every time you take that wallet out, you're either spending for liberty or you're spending for tyranny. We can't be mindlessly buying products and services anymore. Stop going to Starbucks. Stop going to Amazon. Go to Patriots. Let me just also say this. When you go to a small business, you have a great experience. You get to know the owner. There's a family-run business. They want to know your name. They want to know how your day's going. Why would you sacrifice that for a corporation that doesn't care one bit about you, and in fact is using your money to fund the left? I am tired of funding the left. So if you really want to vote every single day, you can. And I want to help make that much easier to shop for liberty and to vote for liberty every day.
I love it, brother. I love it. That's businessesforliberty.com. Folks, also go check out the Facebook page, which is Businesses for Liberty. Do you have any other pages?
If you, we do have SC We the People, which is
right.
That all started SC-We the People. I promote churches for liberty on there. I promote anyone I can, like you, who's actually a patriot, in different realms. Michael Reed, the Standard paper, people like that. But I would just say go on True Social, check us out there. Getter, we're on all the major platforms.
Awesome, love your brother. Keep up the good work.
You're doing a great job, Mike. I'm so proud since we were last together, how far you've come in your own right, and we're working together like nothing's in.
It's all you, my man. It's all you. Eric Corcoran, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll get together soon and have a Diet Coke or something.
We'll do some sidearm.
Hey, there you go. We'll do that. Good seeing you, sir.
Take care.
All right. All right. How about that? When you come across people in your life that are down and dirty, great people, salt of the earth, that guy's one of them. His story is phenomenal. This is his adopted home, and I'm telling you, he is as American as anybody. I mean, he does a great job. I'm really fortunate to call him a friend. And so check him out, businessesforliberty.com. You can also go to his Facebook page, Businesses for Liberty, or South Carolina _ I believe it is We the People.
Introducing to you.
You're on House of Cards, live on Facebook and YouTube.
It's going down.
Locked and loaded with the truth.
And he is a great guy, Kirk. Hey, folks, I want to tell you about this is something you may want to get your neighbor over here real quick, get them on board with this, and check this out. You may have heard, let me see if I can get that on the screen. You see that right there? Make honey great again. Let's put it over here. Whose face is that? Well, son of a gun, that's Donald Trump. Now, whether you're a Donald Trump fan or not, this right here is either A, a collectible, or B, a one hell of a conversation starter. See if I can get it turned around here. There you see, come on, camera. Make honey. Where are you? MakeHoneyGreatAgain.com. There you go. This honey comes from Cottageville, up in Colleton County, matter of fact. So it's local honey to the folks in the South Carolina Low Country. And by the way, this segment is sponsored by Denise Ressler, Exit Realty of Hilton Head. Wherever you're selling, buying, investing in real estate in the Low Country, call Denise Ressler, Exit Realty, Hilton Head. Go to Make Honey Great Again. and check out this honey. I think a bottle is like $15, $14. I don't know, something like that. It really doesn't matter. Um, when you buy a bottle of this, and again, the honey is actually it's pretty damn good. This is local honey to us here in the South Carolina Low Country. Um, this is a conversation piece. Again, if you're not a DJT fan, that's fine. This right here, this has some notoriety to it. This has been accepted and authorized by 45, and it has his likeness there, part of the bottle. It's kind of hard to see, but maybe you can make it out. Looks like maybe we can. Anyway, when you go get you a bottle of this, um, oh, thank you, Eric. Thank you. The pleasure's all ours. When you get a bottle of this honey, make sure you put in the sales code Big Patriot. All right, make honey great again. Put in the sales code Big Patriot. Yes, they help. This isn't produced by Donald Trump or any of his companies. This is produced by MakeHoneyGreatAgain.com, and they get the honey from Cottageville. These folks help support the show, so a portion of the sales proceeds, which is minuscule, goes to help the the website, the radio station. So MakeHoneyGreatAgain.com, sales code Big Patriot, and get you a bottle of honey. So, and we released that like 4 or 5 days ago, something like that. And I think they've sold, or we've sold somewhere in the neighborhood. I think I was told like 55, 65, 55, 65 bottles, somewhere in there, like 3 cases or something.
Locked and loaded.
Let's go.
Big Patriot Radio. Blues, news, country pop, and classic rock.
So in other news, back here around the house, speaking of the house, the South Carolina House recently was back in a session, and they organized themselves for the new year. They finished up yesterday. The great thing about this is 3 of the 4 Beaufort County House reps, and there are more than that, but I'm talking about those that actually live here. I mean, there's a House rep, I think, in either Jasper or Hampton that has a portion of Beaufort. I'm talking about the ones that live here, the ones that send their kids to the same school you do. 3 of the 4 of them are chairmen of select committees. Now, Shannon Erickson, chairwoman of the Education Committee. Weston Newton is the chairman of the very powerful Judiciary. And Jeff Bradley is chairman of the Rules Engagement or something like that, Rules Administration. That means 23% of the House committees are controlled by Beaufort County. House Representative Bill Herb Kurzman is subcommittee chair on a extremely powerful Ways and Means Committee, which is the probably one of the most powerful, the financial arm of the House of Representatives in the General Assembly. Now, Beaufort County, in layman's terms, has one big ass seat at the table. They've been talking about it. Now it is actually happening. Beaufort County has one huge seat at the table in the General Assembly as far as the House goes. The coming session is going to be interesting. And when you start looking at the dichotomy of this, you have to understand how all this works. How does politics work? So with the forthcoming session, the House, South Carolina House of Representatives, has a super majority. Okay, they have a super majority of the Republican Party is the super majority of the House. Make sure I said that right. The South Carolina House Republican caucus has a super majority. Okay, that means every everything conservative should be able to sail right through the House. Democrats should have zero ability to filibuster, bullshit their way into some of the shenanigans that they get into. Um, the conservatives should be able to pass in the House everything they set out to do unless they shoot themselves in the foot. This is where it's going to get interesting because with a super majority, if you do not vote, if you're a conservative and you do not vote conservative in a super majority, you just committed career suicide. Okay. Now, why do I say that? Well, if you look at the Senate, the state Senate is a majority, not super majority, but a majority Republican. Now, South Carolina is known to be one of the most liberal Republican states in the nation. The South Carolina Senate is known as the most liberal Republican led Senate in the nation. Okay? Think about that. That means there are people who either really are Democrats, they got elected because the only way they could was to put an R behind their name, but they don't vote that way. So all this smoke and mirrors and the snow screen that's been going on, all of a sudden now it's going to come out. In the House, if you're a Republican and part of the supermajority and you vote against pro-life, you have committed career suicide. If you're in the House and you voted for all this new expansion of spending, you just committed career suicide. The list goes on and on and on. Now, we can push that forward to the Senate. And now senators, even though there's not a supermajority, there is a majority. The senators of the South Carolina Senate are going to have the pressure now, and I don't mean senators like Tom Davis or folks like Tom, Chip Campson, not like that. But I'm talking about those who uh, say they're a Republican, but in no way, shape, or form are. The gal from Charleston, and all of a sudden I forgot her name. Um, Gosh, that's horrible. Sandy Sin. She's about as much a Republican as my backpack is. Honestly, I mean, it is what it is. Seems like a nice lady, but she's not a Republican. She will be this year. She will be this year, or I can almost guarantee you she won't be back. Same thing with anyone else in the South Carolina Senate who has a R behind their name. If they start voting centrist or left of right in any fashion, they will probably be finding themselves without a job. Now, those Democrats that are in the South Carolina Senate, they have nothing to lose. They have they have everything to gain, nothing to lose because they're still in the minority. They're still going to whine. You're still going to have Senator Hutto whine and moan. You're still going to have I don't know, is Dick Harpootlian even there anymore? I guess he is. I don't know. He's still going to he's going to come up with his funny antics. None of that's going to change. Margie Bright Matthews, nobody knows what she is. Definitely a Democrat. Um, I don't know if she knows that she's even there. But yes, Kirk put it precisely correct. The rhinos will be revealed. And we all know that rhinos stands for Republican in name only. RINO. Republican in name only. So, anyway, these senators are not going to be forced to vote conservatively, or in fact, they will, like I said, be committing career suicide. Your voice, ladies and gentlemen, golly gee, your voice will now be heard even louder than before. If you haven't been contacting the House of Representatives, your delegation, whether you're in Beaufort County, in Colleton County, in Pickens County, or Marion County, wherever the hell you are, you need to be contacting them religiously and let them know, along with your state senator, let them know you're watching, let them know you're involved, The 2023 session begins January 10th. Get you a letter, get you a couple letters, put them in a form, put them in your computer where you can fire those things off. Boom, boom, boom. I'm telling you, the squeaky wheel gets greased first. The more you're in touch with them, the more they're going to listen. Your state senator, we have 46 senators, we have 46 counties. Some senators overlap, like Tom Davis. Tom Davis is in Beaufort and Jasper County. Margie Bright Matthews is in like 4 or 5 counties. But there are 46 counties, 46 senators. Let them know you're my senator or you're in my county. I'm watching you. I'm involved. And I don't mean this as a threat. Don't do that, because they're going to go right to file 13 and they're going to start ignoring you. You don't need to do that. You just say, hey, I'm involved. I want to be involved. I want to have a good communication with you, Mr. or Mrs. Senator, House Rep. Don't forget my name. Here's my phone number. Here's where I live. Send them a Big Patriot Radio sticker and let them know you're a listener. They'll stay involved with you. Keep that happening. You will see things change in your county.
Locked and loaded.
Let's go.
Big Patriot Radio. Blues, news, country pop, and classic rock.
Now we've got some spell check. Right on, man. We got some other news. I first wasn't going to say anything. The more I read into the story, the more I decided, and it is 10 after the hour. Have you heard the news out of Russia? I guess it was today. So, jailed women's basketball player Brittany Griner has been released from a Russian prison after the Biden administration. This pisses me off to no end, and it's going to piss me off again. After the Biden administration orchestrated her release in exchange for Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout. Viktor Bout. Now, Griner had been incarcerated. Most, if not all of you, have seen this. She had been incarcerated for about 10 months. And she had possession of, I believe it was marijuana. Now, Viktor Bout was known around the world as the Merchant of Death. He had been imprisoned after being found guilty of conspiracy to kill Americans, conspiracy to deliver anti-aircraft missiles, and aiding a terrorist organization. Think about that for just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Are you freaking kidding me? Some weed versus the Merchant of Death. Some weed versus some weed for the Merchant of Death. But wait. That's not even the best part or the worst, however you want to look at it. The United States of America has had one of our U.S. Marines imprisoned in Russia. Name is Paul Whelan. He was imprisoned in 2020, sentenced to 16 years on espionage charges. Whelan and the U.S. government have profusely denied any truth to these charges. So let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. This is where I start stuttering. I become unglued. Let me get this straight. Joe Biden, listen, the U.S. Marine continues to sit in a Russian prison, and I'm sure that's a real swell place, while the woke basketball player comes home. The Marine sits in prison, rotting away, while the woke basketball player comes home. And look, I don't want to see or hear any of our people any American in Russian prisons. But this, I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. This should literally piss off every red-blooded American, no matter your political party. Period. Once again, Joe, and this is why. This is why. Once again, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Biden administration has left a U.S. soldier behind. Once again, they left a soldier behind. That's criminal. They should be ashamed. There's no excuse for that. None. Heather Hickman, anyone who believes we were willing to settle for just getting Brittany Griner is missing a few important pieces. Not sure exactly what you mean. Please elaborate. My next point on this is, let's say this. Furthermore, why in the ever-loving frig would we give up this victor bout? Period. Why would we give him up? I mean, seriously, people, are you people in Washington? Gosh, I hope somebody's watching from DC or sends this to them. Are you people in DC at the White House, the CIA, the DOJ, DOJ, FBI, Secretary of State? Are you all that asinine? Are you that complicit with stupidity? This Victor Bout, this condemned asshole, was nabbed in 2008 in a sting in Bangkok, in Thailand. It was at a Bangkok hotel, where he thought he was meeting with representatives of the Colombian Revolutionary Armed Guard Forces. These Colombian mercenaries, who the U.S. government has claimed they are narco terrorists. So this Russian guy, Bout, was going. What did they get him for? Because they were actually American, not the actual Colombians. You probably figured that out. So what was he doing? He was going to sell them $20 million worth of air-to-air missiles, machine guns, sniper rifles, 10 million rounds of ammunition, and 5 tons of plastic explosives. Yeah, let's let this one out, dumbass. Let this guy out. Heather says, just saying there must be more to that story. Thank you. Appreciate that. Like someone who has some serious dirt. Of course. Of course. I mean, Heather, did you listen earlier when I was talking about when gosh, this really pisses me off. When I was talking about under the Trump administration, there were infiltrators in the U.S. government, acts of treason against the White House, and they worked there. Yeah, there's some serious dirt on our administration. I would say absolutely. Absolutely. Well, there you go. I appreciate that. Hey, Avi, if I'm detained for CBD oil, do not trade me for an arms dealer. I sit in prison. True. I wouldn't take it in there either. And this isn't. I don't care that Brittany Griner is a basketball player. I don't care. I don't care that she had some weed on her. I don't care. Okay, she broke the rules. She broke the law. It is what it is. Do I want to see her in a Russian prison? No. Do I want to see her in a Chinese prison? No. Do I want to give up the arms dealer, the merchant of death, who's going to sell, what was it? Air-to-air missiles, 10 million rounds of ammo, machine guns, sniper rifles, and let's give him 5 tons of plastic explosives. What happened to the days of we don't negotiate with terrorists? Now, I'm hopeful that someone out there of the persuasion in socialism, Marxism, communism, atheism, whatever ism is going to say, well, that's not very nice. You should want all of our Americans home. Absolutely. Absolutely, I do. The Marine or the Army soldier or the naval, uh, uh, the Navy, whatever, the Air Force pilot, the Coast Guardsman, the military should never, ever be left behind. If you're a president with half a hair on your ass, you never, ever leave a soldier behind. Unless your name is Joe Biden, or as some in the comedian circles call it, Joe in the Hoe. I think that's actually uh, a little funny, but all that said and done, you're letting this guy out of prison. That is so that is so wrong on so many levels. Shame on you, Joe Biden. Shame on you, Kamala Harris. Shame on you. No wonder uh, Putin sits back and goes, "These stupid Americans. What a bunch of and that's true. These two and whoever orchestrated this, because quite frankly, neither the one of them they have the time or the know-how to orchestrate this. Somebody did, and that somebody is another moron who does not need to be serving the however a couple hundred million residents of this country. Somebody needs to put America first, not last. And I'm going to say it again, a real president never, ever, ever leaves a soldier behind. Period. All right. Now that I've fired myself up, let's move on. I wanted to tell you a little bit about somebody else who doesn't have not all of their marbles in their head, and that's South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham.
Locked and loaded.
Let's go.
Big Patriot Radio. News, country pop, and classic rock.
South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham is back at it again. You know, he's even making the case for Democrats to ask if even he is really a conservative. You know, it's one thing when conservatives say, man, is Lindsey Graham is he really batting for the conservative team? But now you've got Democrats saying, maybe Lindsey Graham, maybe he's okay. Why am I saying that? Well, Graham nominated Democrat Judge DeAndrea Benjamin to be appointed to judge in the Fourth Circuit. This is federal Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals. The nomination cleared the Senate committee hearing recently with a 13-9 vote, with most Republicans voting against, except, of course, Lindsey Graham. Benjamin will be and now once you get past that committee, it's going to sail through. There's almost nothing anyone can do to stop it now. Benjamin will be the third South Carolina judge on the court. The Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals is like Virginia, West Virginia, I think, North Carolina, South Carolina, maybe Tennessee. I don't know. Georgia, maybe. Who knows? Anyway, she's the wife of ultra liberal former mayor of Columbia, Steve Benjamin. Let's put her on the court. Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley made a comment afterwards that he didn't vote in favor of her because of some of her past decisions of bond granting that have bond in talking about in incarcerated individuals. Anyway, those the granting of bonds have raised public safety concerns. Chuck Grassley also feels that she may not, in his opinion, follow constitutional law. South Carolina Senator Graham, though, let's bring her up. You know, I've made Sleepy Joe is probably the highest ranking arms dealer. Oh Oh, you're absolutely right. I mean, what was it, $85 billion worth of arms he left in Afghanistan? Yeah, that probably puts him up there with one of the biggest arms dealers. That's a great point. That's another great point that if somebody wanted to pursue, there's, it would cost a ton to pursue that. But this is a dereliction of duty, period. Um, this guy, I don't care if I don't care what side of the plate you bat on. This guy is horrible. This guy is absolutely horrible. And what's behind him is even worse. Oh my God. Oh, she's even worse. Anyway, where was I? Um, I don't know. Yeah. Heather, you're right. You're right. So anyway, um, Graham, I've said it. That's where I was going. I've said this many times that somebody really needs to replace Graham. Unfortunately, it's going to take a lot of money. That's just how it is. Um, there's not enough moral controversy. There's really not any moral controversy. And what I mean by that, well, you look at the Warnock Walker, both of them have got moral uh, issues of the past. One says he's pro-life, but he apparently pays for abortions. The other one tries to drive over his ex-wife and doesn't pay child support. So I mean, they both got problems. Anyone could have been knocked off. Graham's probably doesn't fall into that I'm aware of at this moment. Um, so it's going to take somebody with some coin. Last time I checked, Graham had like $15 million in his war chest. It may be more than that now. I don't know. But it is going to take some coin. If somebody tries to run that doesn't have the money to do the ads, to do the opposition interrogatories, you have zero chance. That's just the way that works on that level. Now, if he does something morally wrong here shortly or whatever, whenever he's up for reelection, that could change. You're still going to have a lot of coin because that coin, not only can it buy you ads, but that coin can also buy you out of a problem. Hence, you have the Walker Warnock issue. And that's, thank God that's over with. I think Warnock ended up winning by, I don't know, it was like 80,000 votes or something. I don't know. Neither one of them really did much for me, I guess. I would have preferred to have the tie uh, uh, not given to, well, the tie would have been to the Democrats anyway. However, they wouldn't have been able to get anything done with a 50-50. Now it's 51-49, I believe it is. Anyway, anybody else got any comments? I apologize if you wanted to call in. I've got to go back and try to figure that out and get that all hooked up. Um, I did have one other comment. I wanted to go back here real quick. Um, Nope, I got them all. All right. Well, there you go. I want to thank all the folks that put this show on that help us. United Digital, the Big Patriot Radio is powered by United Digital Promos, Equity Resources, BNI, and Exit Realty, Denise Ressler of Hilton Head. Folks, don't forget to go to patreon.com. Check us out there, just / Buford House of Cards. We would love to have you as a monthly member to help keeping this thing go. Be sure to go on to BigPatriotRadio.com. Buford, what the hell? BigPatriotRadio.com. Tune in, take a listen, tell us what you think. If you're a business and you want to advertise, you can't get more economical. You'll start making money by running ads on our station. If you want some stickers, give me a holler. We'll get some to you. Until next time, we'll be back here next Thursday.
Introducing to you.
You're on House of Cards, live on Facebook and YouTube.
It's going down now.
Locked and loaded with the truth.
We'll be back here next Thursday, same time. Be sure to tune in to Big Patriot Radio and listen on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock to Talk One Radio and Al Flowers. The repeat version of the previous week is always played at Wednesdays, 7 o'clock on Big Patriot Radio. Until next week, I'm Mike Covert saying so long.